Hey, what's going on there? Dr. Jason here, board certified naturopath. I want to talk to you today about 5 pretty common food myths that I want to dispel and shed a little light on. Let's get right into it. One that I'm really concerned about is that people are knocking carbohydrates. We got to be careful. There's a lot of stuff going on out there with carnivore and keto. And am I saying there's no place for that? Nope, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying be careful because, again, as a human species, if you look at anthropology and where we come from, where we've evolved, we're an omnivore. We're designed to eat some mix between protein, carbs, and fats, whatever ratio. It depends on the season, of course, it varies. But in my opinion, people cutting out carbohydrates is a huge issue. Carbs are not bad for you. I do think we should eat better carbs though, right? Less processed. And do we need gobs and gobs like some of your food pyramid or My Plate or whatever heck it's called suggests? No, you don't need like 12 servings of bread and cereals a day. But I do think you need some carbohydrates. Number one, because you get nutrients from them, you get fiber from some of them, and you actually need the actual energy to help fuel part of your Krebs cycle, right? Acetyl-CoA, you need some carbohydrates to kind of get that cycle started to make it a little bit more efficient for you to burn energy. So we also see low-carb diets really can impact the thyroid, which is a huge issue, especially with a lot of women out there. So if you're dealing with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, blood sugar disorders, things that are just really difficult as far as balancing energy in your body, be careful going too low carbohydrate. I'm not saying to experiment with a little bit less, but let's not cut them out completely. Number 2, seed oils, okay? I was told this since I was a kid. I remember, again, 80s and 90s, that soybean and safflower and sunflower, hey, let's get these polyunsaturates in our diet. They're about better than butter. Man, it couldn't be more dead wrong. I'm really sad to say that they caused an epidemic of conditions like heart disease and cancers and brain aging. Those oils are terrible for you, generally speaking. Are they better than maybe trans fat? Okay, if you had to pick one, I would pick sunflower oil over like a trans fat, like hydrogenated fats, like in Crisco or something. But in general, your safflower, your sunflower, your canola, your soy, vegetable oils, things that are considered seed oils, again, very pro-inflammatory. Let's try to cut back on those guys, okay? They're hidden in everything too. They're really tough to get rid of, but do your best. Even some of these healthy snack foods, they're gonna be in there. Number 3, you are what you eat. I do generally think that's important to kind of live by, because we know quality of nutrition equals quality of health, generally speaking, but I have seen a lot of patients come in that are actually eating very clean and they feel like crap. They got a lot of health problems. So there's really a better way to say that, and is not just you are what you eat, you are what you assimilate, you are what you absorb, right? That means you have to have a great GI domino, right? From mastication or chewing to our, all of our salivary enzymes there, all the way down to our stomach and breaking into our intestine with enzymes and acids and things like that, and be, free of pathogens that can screw that up. You've got to be able to assimilate, not just, eat the food. Can you break it down? One of the toughest foods to break down, by the way, is protein. So if you're on one of these carnivore or keto diets and you're eating tons and tons of protein, I bet you're absorbing maybe 20-30% of that if you have not taken a great inventory of your digestion, okay? So let's be careful there. Also, by the way, excess protein ends up, can putrefy in the gut and create more health problems. So be careful on that. Drinking too much water. Yes, I want to emphasize not being dehydrated. Absolutely, don't be dehydrated. That's a big tenet of health. But guess what? What people do oftentimes is overcorrect, okay? Consuming too much water is a thing, believe it or not. I'm not talking about the lethal type. That's when people drink gallons and gallons, like a lot of marathon runners do that, and actually that can cause cardiac arrest. I'm not talking about that. Just talking about people that say, you know what? I read somewhere that you can flush out tons of fat and toxins by drinking a gallon a day. I wouldn't suggest that, okay? Mostly why we get thirsty is a deficiency in minerals or electrolytes. So that's the big take home with that one. Let's work on adding minerals to our water. How do you do that? A little Celtic salt, just a little pinch of Celtic salt in that water throughout the day. I do recommend starting with about half your body weight in ounces of water, but maxing out between 80 and 100 ounces, depending on your size and what you're dealing with, if you're dealing with hot weather or not. But basically, get water in, but don't over dilute your system, okay? And by the way, you need minerals to get them to the cell. It's magnesium and other minerals that actually pull the water into the intracellular space. Otherwise, the water stays on the outside of the cell. And so you may be peeing clear, but the water's not getting into the cell. So remember, you got to have mineralized water, really important. So work on that first before we guzzle water by the gallon. And lastly, eating after 7 p.m. I heard this, again, for decades. I don't know where this came from. Maybe some diet doctor back in the day said this. You can eat later if you need to. I want you to eat when you're hungry. I'd rather you not eat, all your calories at, 10 o'clock at night. But if you need to eat after 7, not a big deal. Just try not to eat within a couple hours of bedtime, though. That can mess up your circadian rhythm and sleep cycle. So those are some food myths for you. Hopefully it helped you out and educate you a little bit. You have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.